My father had taught me to row probably at age 7 or 8. I was fortunate enough to make the Olympic 8. So there were 100 guys that showed up and 16 that made it through. And so I was one of them, and ended up being the stroke of the 8, the guy in the stern that sets the pace in Munich in 1972.
And the 8 on the far side, United States is second, and East Germany is third.
It was a normal morning, making coffee for Kitty and lining up to-dos. On that day, I decided to take some mold off of a wall out front here. It was like 100 degrees, it was really hot. And then I had a little lunch and went into my study to do paperwork. And I think I leaned down to get a pencil or something that I had dropped, and my back was hurting me. So I remember being on the floor, stretching my back, but also thinking, this isn't quite feeling right.
I had been out doing some errands. I came home and he was sitting on the floor of his study. And I said, what are you doing?
And I said, oh, I'm just stretching. My back is hurting me.
And then I realized when he was speaking that he was kind of mumbling. That's the way I would put it.
She said, I don't think you're right. And I said, no, I'm fine. And by this time I could feel my left side I was not speaking correctly.
I went in the other room and got the massager and came back. And when I was in the other room, I called 911.
I could still move my left arm and I still had strength in it, but not enough to get up.
I came back and gave him the massager. And as he tried to put the massager, which had an arm sling to it, he tried to put it on his left arm. And then I realized that he couldn't move his left arm. He was trying to move it. And so then I said, I think you've had a stroke. I'm going to call 911. By that time, I could already hear the sirens.
Because we're so close to the fire department, they were here in like 2 minutes.
I went out and met the guys, and they figured out how to get him out very, very fast, put him in the ambulance and said, we're going to Baptist.
Whenever you have stroke-like symptoms, it's critical to come to the hospital as soon as possible. And one of the things that has really made that possible with the Baptist system is our telemedicine network. Emergency medical technologists pick up the patient and they're able to communicate with the physician directly, and they can assess how the patient is doing and determine exactly what treatments they'll need. And then once they arrive at the hospital, things can be expedited.
To be engaged at that point was impressive and made me feel assured that I was in good hands.
Luckily, Mr. Terry was able to make it to the hospital relatively rapidly after the onset of symptoms. And he was able to arrive within 4 hours, and they were able to give a clot-busting medication called tenecteplase. The next step in his evaluation was to perform a CT angiogram, and that showed that he had a complete blockage of the right middle cerebral artery, which is the main artery that supplies the right side of the brain.
When Dr. Wicks came out, he was terrific. He was really great, and he explained to me exactly what had happened.
So they go up through the femoral artery all the way up into the brain, which is amazing in and of itself, and remove the actual clot. Sounds simple, I don't think it's simple, but they are very good at it, so happy about that, of course.
He has made an outstanding recovery. He is now at home and receiving some physical therapy, but he is now returned to near full strength.
I feel like I was in really good hands, and I can't say enough about the treatment that I got. And I would say, you are the best. And I love you, and keep up the good work.